Timon of Athens by William Shakespeare. Act I Scene I Athens, a hall in Timon's house. Aye, that's well known, but what particular rarity? What strange which manifold record not matches? See, magic of bounty. All these spirits thy power hath conjured to attend, I know the merchant. A most incomparable man, breathed, as it were, to an untirable and continuate goodness, he passes, reciting to himself. When we for recompense have praised the vile, it stains the glory in that happy verse which aptly sings the good. You are wrapped, sir, in some work, some dedication to the great laud. A thing slipped idly from me. Our posy is as a gum, which oozes from whence 'tis nourished. The fire the flint shows not till it be struck. Our gentle flame provokes itself, and like the current flies each bound it chafes. What have you there? Upon the heels of my presentment, sir. Let's see your piece. Admirable, how this grace speaks his own standing. What a mental power this eye shoots forth, how big imagination moves in this lip. To the dumbness of the gesture one might interpret. It is a pretty mocking of the life. Here is a touch, is't good? I will say of it, acute as nature. Artificial strife lives in these touches, livelier than life. You see this confluence, this great flood of visitors. I have, in this rough work, shaped out a man, whom this beneath world doth embrace and hug with amplest entertainment. My free drift halts not particularly, but moves itself in a wide sea of wax. No levelled malice infects one comma in the cause I hold, but flies in eagle flight, bold and farthon, leaving no tract behind. I will unbolt to you. You see how all conditions, how all minds, as well of glib and slippery creatures as of grave and austere quality, tender down their services to Lord Timon. His large fortune upon his good and gracious nature, hanging subdues and properties to his love, and tendance all sorts of hearts. Yea, from the glass-faced flatterer to Epamantis, that few things loves better than to abhor himself. Even he drops down the knee before him, and returns in peace most rich in Timon's nod. Sir, I have upon a high and pleasant hill feigned fortune to be throned. The base o' the mount is ranked with all deserts, all kind of natures, that labor on the bosom of this sphere to propagate their states. Amongst them all, whose eyes are on this sovereign lady fixed, one do I personate of Lord Timon's frame, whom fortune with her ivory hand wafts to her, whose present grace to present slaves and servants translates his rivals. 'Tis conceived to scope. This throne, this fortune, and this hill, methinks, with one man beckoned from the rest below, bowing his head against the sleepy mount to climb his happiness, would be well expressed in our condition. Nay, sir, but hear me on. All those which were his fellows but of late, some better than his value, on the moment follow his strides, his lobbies fill with tendance, rain sacrificial whisperings in his ear, make sacred even his stirrup, and through him drink the free air. When fortune in her shift and change of mood spurns down her late beloved, all his dependents which labored after him to the mountain's top, even on their knees and hands, let him slip down, not one accompanying his declining foot. 'Tis common. 1,000 moral paintings I can show that shall demonstrate these quick blows of fortunes more pregnantly than words. Yet you do well to show Lord Timon that mean eyes have seen the foot above the head. Ay, my good lord, 5 talents is his debt, his means most short, his creditors most strait. Your honorable letter he desires to those have shut him up, which failing, periods his comfort. Noble Ventidius? Well, I am not of that feather to shake off my friend when he must need me. I do know him a gentleman that well deserves a help, which he shall have. I'll pay the debt and free him. Commend me to him, I will send his ransom, and being enfranchised, bid him come to me. 'Tis not enough to help the feeble up, but to support him after. Fare you well. This fellow here, Lord Timon, this thy creature, by night frequents my house. I am a man that from my first have been inclined to thrift, and my estate deserves an heir more raised than one which holds a trencher. One only daughter have I, no kin else, on whom I may confer what I have got. The maid is fair, the youngest for a bride, and I have bred her at my dearest cost in qualities of the best. This man of thine attempts her love. I prithee, noble lord, join with me to forbid him her resort. Myself have spoke in vain. Therefore he will be, Timon. His honesty rewards him in itself. It must not bear my daughter. She is young and apt. Our own precedent passions do instruct us what levities in youth. If in her marriage my consent be missing, I call the gods to witness. I will choose mine heir from forth the beggars of the world, and dispossess her all. How shall she be endowed, if she be mated with an equal husband? This gentleman of mine hath served me long. To build his fortune I will strain a little, for 'tis a bond in men. Give him thy daughter. What you bestow, in him I'll counterpoise, and make him weigh with her. Most noble lord, pawn me to this your honor, she is his. Humbly I thank your lordship. Never may the state or fortune fall into my keeping, which is not owed to you. Exeunt Lucilius and old Athenian. I thank you, you shall hear from me anon. Go not away. What have you there, my friend? A piece of painting, which I do beseech your lordship to accept. Painting is welcome. The painting is almost the natural man, for since dishonor traffics with man's nature, he is but outside. These penciled figures are even such as they give out. I like your work, and you shall find I like it. Wait attendance till you hear further from me. Well, fare you, gentlemen, give me your hand, we must needs dine together. Sir, your jewel hath suffered under praise, a more satiety of commendations. If I should pay you fought as 'tis extolled, it would unclue me quite. My lord, 'tis rated as those which sell would give. But you well know, things of like value differing in the owners are prized by their masters. Believe it, dear lord, you mend the jewel by the wearing it. No, my good lord, he speaks the common tongue, which all men speak with him. Till I be gentle, stay thou for thy good morrow, when thou art Timon's dog, and these knaves honest. 'Tis Alcibiades and some 20 horse, all of companionship. Pray, entertain them, give them guide to us. Exeunt some attendants. You must needs dine with me, go not you hence till I have thanked you. When dinner's done, show me this piece. I am joyful of your sights. So there, aches contract and starve your supple joints, that there should be small love mongst these sweet knaves, and all this courtesy. The strain of man's bred out into baboon and monkey. Sir, you have saved my longing, and I feed most hungrily on your sight. Right welcome, sir. Ere we depart, we'll share a bounteous time in different pleasures. Pray you, let us in. Exeunt all except Epamantis. He's opposite to humanity. Come, shall we in and taste Lord Timon's bounty? He outgoes the very heart of kindness. He paws it out. Plutus, the god of gold, is but his steward, no meed, but he repays sevenfold above itself. No gift to him, but breeds the giver a return exceeding all use of quittance. The noblest mind he carries that ever governed man. Scene room into a banqueting room in Timon's house. Most honored Timon, it hath pleased the gods to remember my father's age, and call him to long peace. He is gone happy, and has left me rich, then, as in grateful virtue I am bound to your free heart, I do return those talents, doubled with thanks and service, from whose help I derived liberty. Oh, by no means, honest Ventidius, you mistake my love, I gave it freely ever, and there's none can truly say he gives if he receives. If our betters play at that game, we must not dare to imitate them. Faults that are rich are fair. Nay, my lords, they all stand ceremoniously looking on Timon. Ceremony was but devised at first to set a gloss on faint deeds, hollow welcomes, recanting goodness. Sorry 'tis shown, but where there is true friendship, there needs none. Pray sit, more welcome are ye to my fortunes than my fortunes to me. They sit. No, you shall not make me welcome. I come to have thee thrust me out of doors. Fie, thou art a churl. Ye have got a humour that does not become a man. 'Tis much to blame. They say, my lords, ira fura brevis est, but yond man is ever angry. Go, let him have a table by himself, for he does neither affect company, nor is he fit fought, indeed. I scorn thy meat. 'Twould choke me, for I should ne'er flatter thee. O you gods, what a number of men eat Timon, and he sees 'em not. It grieves me to see so many dip their meat in one man's blood, and all the madness is, he cheers them up too. I wonder men dare trust themselves with men, methinks they should invite them without knives, good for their meat, and safer for their lives. There's much example fought. The fellow that sits next him now, pots bread with him, pledges the breath of him in a divided draught, is the readiest man to kill him. Tea has been proved. If I were a huge man, I should fear to drink at meals, lest they should spy my windpipe's dangerous notes. Great men should drink with harness on their throats. Flow this way, a brave fellow, he keeps his tides well. Those healths will make thee and thy state look ill, Timon. Here's that which is too weak to be a sinner. Honest water, which ne'er left man I the mire, this and my food are equals. There's no odds, feasts are too proud to give thanks to the gods. Immortal gods, I crave no pelf, I pray for no man but myself. Grant I may never prove so fond to trust man on his oath or bond, or a harlot for her weeping, or a dog that seems a-sleeping, or a keeper with my freedom, or my friends if I should need 'em. Amen. So fall taught, rich men sin, and I eat root. Eats and drinks. Much good ditch thy good heart, Epamantis? Joy had the like conception in our eyes, and at that instant like a babe sprung up. Hail to thee, worthy Timon, and to all that of his bounty's taste. The 5 best senses acknowledge thee their patron, and come freely to gratulate thy plenteous bosom. Ear, taste, touch, and smell, pleased from thy tail rise, they only now come but to feast thine eyes. They're welcome all, let 'em have kind admittance, music, make their welcome, exit Cupid. Hoy day, what a sweep of vanity comes this way. They dance, they are mad women. Like madness is the glory of this life. As this pomp shows to a little oil and root, we make ourselves fools to despot ourselves and spend our flatteries, to drink those men upon whose age we voided up again, with poisonous spite and envy. Who lives that's not depraved or depraves? Who dies, that bears not one spurn to their graves of their friend's gift? I should fear those that dance before me now would one day stamp upon me. Tea has been done. Men shut their doors against a setting sun. You have done our pleasures much grace, fair ladies, set a fair fashion on our entertainment, which was not half so beautiful and kind. You have added worth unto tea and lustre, and entertained me with mine own device. I am to thank you for tea. Ladies, there is an idle banquet attends you. Please you to dispose yourselves. Yes, my lord. More jewels yet, aside. There is no crossing him in's humour, else I should tell him. Well, I faith I should, when all's spent, he'll be crossed then, and he could. 'Tis pity bounty had not eyes behind, that man might ne'er be wretched for his mind. Exit. Oh, my friends, I have one word to say to you. Look you, my good lord, I must entreat you, honour me so much as to advance this jewel, accept it and wear it, kind my lord. My lord, there are certain nobles of the Senate newly alighted, and come to visit you. I beseech your honour, vouchsafe me a word, it does concern you near. Near? Why then, another time I'll hear thee. I prithee, let's be provided to show them entertainment. May it please your honour, Lord Lucius, out of his free love, hath presented to you 4 milk-white hosses, trapped in silver. I shall accept them fairly. Let the presents be worthily entertained. I'll hunt with him, and let them be received, not without fair reward. Aside. What will this come to? He commands us to provide and give great gifts, and all out of an empty coffer. Nor will he know his purse, or yield me this, to show him what a beggar his heart is, being of no power to make his wishes good. His promises fly so beyond his state that what he speaks is all in debt. He owes for every word. He is so kind that he now pays interest fought, his lands put to their books. Well, would I were gently put out of office before I were forced out. Happier is he that has no friend to feed than such that do enemies exceed. I bleed inwardly for my laud. Exit. You do yourselves much wrong. You bait too much of your own merits. Here, my lord, a trifle of our love. And now I remember, my lord, you gave good words the other day of a bay courser I rode on. It is yours because you liked it. You may take my word, my lord, I know. No man can justly praise but what he does affect. I weigh my friend's affection with mine own. I'll tell you true, I'll call to you. I take all in your several visitations so kind to heart, 'tis not enough to give. Methinks I could deal kingdoms to my friends and ne'er be weary. Alcibiades, thou art a soldier, therefore seldom rich, it comes in charity to thee, for all thy living is mongst the dead, and all the lands thou hast lie in a pitched field. And so am I to you. The best of happiness, honour, and fortunes keep with you, Lord Timon. What a coil's here? Serving of becks and jutting out of bums. I doubt whether their legs be worth the sums that are given for 'em. Friendships full of dregs, methinks false hearts should never have sound legs, thus honest fools lay out their wealth on cotsies. Now, Epamantis, if thou wert not sullen, I would be good to thee. So, thou wilt not hear me now, thou shalt not then. I'll lock thy heaven from thee. Oh, that men's ears should be to counsel deaf, but not to flattery. Exit. Timon of Athens by William Shakespeare. Uncopyright may you do good and not evil. May you find forgiveness for yourself and forgive others. May you share freely, never taking more than you give. Copyright pages exist to tell you that you can't do something. Unlike them, this uncopyright page exists to tell you that the writing and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. The United States public domain represents our collective cultural heritage, and items in it are free for anyone in the United States to do almost anything at all with, without having to get permission. Copyright laws are different all over the world, and the source text or artwork in this ebook may still be copyrighted in other countries. If you're not located in the United States, you must check your local laws before using this ebook. Standard ebooks makes no representations regarding the copyright status of the source text or artwork in this ebook in any country other than the United States. Non-authorship, activities performed on items that are in the public domain, so-called sweat of the brow, work. Don't create a new copyright. That means that nobody can claim a new copyright on an item that is in the public domain for, among other things, work like digitization, mock-up, or typography. Regardless, the contributors to this ebook release their contributions under the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain dedication, thus dedicating to the worldwide public domain all of the work they've done on this ebook, including but not limited to metadata, the title page, imprint, colophon, this uncopyright, and any changes or enhancements to, or markup on, the original text and artwork. This dedication doesn't change the copyright status of the source text or artwork. We make this dedication in the interest of enriching our global cultural heritage, to promote free and libre culture around the world, and to give back to the unrestricted culture that has given all of us so much. Table of Contents Landmarks, Act Roman 2 Sinai's Senator's House. And late, 5,000. To Varro and to Isidore he owes 9,000, besides my former sum, which makes it 5 and 20. Still in motion of raging waste, it cannot hold, it will not. If I want gold, steal but a beggar's dog and give it Timon, why, the dog coins gold. If I would sell my hoss and buy 20 more better than he, why, give my hoss to Timon, ask nothing, give it him, it foals me straight, and able hosses. No potter at his gate, but rather one that smiles and still invites all that pass by. It cannot hold, no reason can found his state in safety. Caphis, ho, Caphis, I say, get on your cloak and haste you to Lord Timon, impart you him for my moneys, be not ceased with slight denial, nor then silenced when, commend me to your master. And the cap plays in the right hand thus, but tell him, my uses cry to me, I must serve my turn out of mine own. His days and times are past, and my reliances on his fracted dates have smit my credit. I love and honor him, but must not break my back to heal his finger. Immediate are my needs, and my relief must not be tossed and turned to me in words, but find supply immediate. Get you gone, put on a most importunate aspect, a visage of demand, for I do fear, when every feather sticks in his own wing, Lord Timon will be left a naked gull, which flashes now a phoenix. Get you gone. I go, sir. Take the bonds along with you and have the dates in contempt. Scene Roman 2 the same, a hall in Timon's house. No care, no stop, so senseless of expense that he will neither know how to maintain it, nor cease his flow of riot, takes no account how things go from him, nor resumes no care of what is to continue. Never mind was to be so unwise, to be so kind. What shall be done? He will not hear till feel. I must be round with him, now he comes from hunting. Fie. Good even, Varro. What you come for money? So soon as dinner's done, we'll forth again, my Alcibiades. With me? What is your will? Please it your lordship, he hath put me off to the succession of new days this month. My master is awaked by great occasion to call upon his own, and humbly praise you that with your other noble pots you'll suit in giving him his right. Mine honest friend, I prithee, but repair to me next morning. From Isidore, he humbly prays your speedy payment. 'Twas due on forfeiture, my lord, 6 weeks and past. Your steward puts me off, my lord, and I am sent expressly to your lordship. Give me breath. I do beseech you, good my lords, keep on. I'll wait upon you instantly. Exeunt Alcibiades and lauds. To Flavius, come hither. Pray you, how goes the world, that I am thus encountered with clamorous demands of date-broke bonds, and the detention of long-since due debts against my honor? Please you, gentlemen, the time is unagreeable to this business. Your importunacy cease till after dinner, that I may make his lordship understand wherefore you are not paid. You make me marvel. Wherefore ere this time had you not fully laid my state before me, that I might so have rated my expense, as I had leave of means, you would not hear me, at many leisures I proposed, go to, perchance some single vantages you took when my indisposition put you back, and that unaptness made your minister, thus to excuse yourself. O my good lord, at many times I brought in my accounts, laid them before you, you would throw them off and say, you found them in mine honesty. When, for some trifling present, you have bid me return so much, I have shook my head and wept. Yea, gainst the authority of manners, prayed you to hold your hand more close. I did endure not seldom, nor no slight checks, when I have prompted you in the ebb of your estate, and your great flow of debts. My loved lord, though you hear now, too late, yet now's a time, the greatest of your having lacks a half to pay your present debts. 'Tis all engaged, some forfeited and gone, and what remains will hardly stop the mouth of present dues. The future comes apace. What shall defend the interim? And at length how goes our reckoning? Oh, my good lord, the world is but a word. Were it all yours to give it in a breath, how quickly were it gone. If you suspect my husbandry or falsehood, call me before the exactest auditors, and set me on the proof. So the gods bless me, when all our offices have been oppressed with riotous feeders, when our vaults have wept with drunken spilth of wine, when every room hath blazed with lights and brayed with minstrelsy, I have retired me to a wasteful cock, and set mine eyes at flow. Heavens, have I said, the bounty of this laud. How many prodigal bits have slaves and peasants this night inglutted? Who is not Timon's? What hot head sod foss means but is laud Timon's? Great Timon, noble, worthy, royal Timon. Ah, when the means are gone that by this praise, the breath is gone whereof this praise is made. Feast won, fast lost, one cloud of winter showers, these flies are couched. Come, sermon me no further, no villainous bounty yet hath passed my heart. Unwisely, not ignobly, have I given. Why dost thou weep? Canst thou the conscience lack, to think I shall lack friends? Secure thy heart, if I would broach the vessels of my love, and try the argument of hearts by borrowing, men and men's fortunes could I frankly use as I can bid thee speak. And in some sort, these wants of mine are crowned, that I account them blessings, for by these shall I try friends. You shall perceive how you mistake my fortunes, I am wealthy in my friends. Within there, Flaminius, Servilius, go you, sir, to the senators, of whom, even to the state's best health, I have deserved this hearing. Bid 'em send the instant 1,000 talents to me. I have been bold, for that I knew it the most general way, to them to use your signet and your name. But they do shake their heads, and I am here no richer in return. They answer, in a joint and corporate voice, that now they are at fall, want treasure, cannot do what they would, are sorry, you are honorable. But yet they could have wished, they know not something hath been amiss. A noble nature may catch a wrench, would all were well, 'tis pity. And so, intending other serious matters, after distasteful looks and these hard fractions, with certain half-caps and cold-moving nods they froze me into silence. You gods reward them? Prithee, man, look cheerly. These old fellows have their ingratitude in them hereditary. Their blood is caked, 'tis cold, it seldom flows, 'tis lack of kindly warmth they are not kind, and nature, as it grows again toward earth, is fashioned for the journey, dull and heavy. To a servant, go to Ventidius, to Flavius. Prithee, be not sad, thou art true and honest, ingeniously I speak. No blame belongs to thee, to servant. Ventidius lately buried his father, by whose death he stepped into a great estate. When he was poor, imprisoned, and in scarcity of friends, I cleared him with 5 talents. Greet him from me. Bid him suppose some good necessity touches his friend, which craves to be remembered with those 5 talents. Exit servant, to Flavius. That had giveth these fellows to whom 'tis instant due. Ne'er speak, or think, that Timon's fortunes mong his friends can sink. I would I could not think it, that thought is bounty's foe. Being free itself, it thinks all others so. Exeunt. Act Roman 3. Scene I a room in Lucullus' house. Is't possible the world should so much differ, and we alive that lived? Fly, damned baseness, to him that worships thee, throwing the money back. May these add to the number that may scald thee. Let molten coin be thy damnation, thou disease of a friend, and not himself. Has friendship such a faint and milky heart, it turns in less than 2 nights? O you gods, I feel master's passion. This slave unto his honor, has my lord's meat in him, why should it thrive and turn to nutriment when he is turned to poison? Oh, may diseases only work upon't, and when he's sick to death, let not that part of nature which my lord paid for, be of any power to expel sickness, but prolong his hour. Exit. Scene Room into a public place. I know his lordship is but merry with me. He cannot want 5,500 talents, but in the meantime he wants less, my lord. If his occasion were not virtuous, I should not urge it half so faithfully. I'll look you out a good turn, Servilius. Exit Servilius. True as you said, Timon is shrunk indeed, and he that's once denied will hardly speed. Exit. Why, this is the world's soul, and just of the same piece is every flatterer's spirit. Who can call him his friend that dips in the same dish? For in my knowing, Timon has been this lord's father, and kept his credit with his purse, supported his estate, nay, Timon's money has paid his men their wages. He ne'er drinks, but Timon's silver treads upon his lip, and yet, oh, see the monstrousness of man when he looks out in an ungrateful shape. He does deny him, in respect of his, what charitable men afford to beggars. For mine own part, I never tasted Timon in my life, nor came any of his bounties over me to mock me for his friend. Yet I protest, for his right noble mind, illustrious virtue, and honorable carriage, had his necessity made use of me, I would have put my wealth into donation, and the best half should have returned to him, so much I love his heart. But I perceive, men must learn now with pity to dispense, for policy sits above conscience. Exeunt. Scene Roman 3. A room in Sempronius' house. Must he needs trouble me int, Bove all others. He might have tried Laud Lucius or Lucullus, and now Ventidius is wealthy too, whom he redeemed from prison. All these owe their estates unto him. My lord, they have all been touched and found base metal, for they have all denied him. How have they denied him? Has Ventidius and Lucullus denied him? And does he send to me? 3. It shows but little love or judgment in him. Must I be his last refuge? His friends, like physicians, thrive, give him over. Must I take the cure upon me? Has much disgraced me int, I'm angry at him, that might have known my place. I see no sense fought, but his occasion might have wooed me first. For in my conscience I was the first man that e'er received gift from him. And does he think so backwardly of me now, that I'll requite its lost? No, so it may prove an argument of laughter to the rest, and mongst lauds I be thought a fool. I'ld rather than the worth of thrice the sum, had sent to me first, but for my mind's sake. I'd such a courage to do him good. But now return, and with their faint reply this answer join. Who bates mine honour shall not know my coin. Exit. Excellent? Your lordship's a goodly villain. The devil knew not what he did when he made man politic. He crossed himself bite, and I cannot think but in the end, the villainies of man will set him clear. How fairly this laud strives to appear foul, takes virtuous copies to be wicked, like those that under hot ardent zeal would set whole realms on fire. Of such a nature is his politic love. This was my lord's best hope. Now all are fled, save only the gods. Now his friends are dead, daws, that were ne'er acquainted with their wads many a bounteous year must be employed now to guard sure their master. And this is all a liberal cause allows. Who cannot keep his wealth must keep his house. Exit, scene room and far the same, a hall in Timon's house. Lucius, what, do we meet together? Aye, and I think one business does command us all, for mine is money. Welcome, good brother. What do you think the hour? Aye, but the days are waxed shorter with him. You must consider that a prodigal cost is like the sun's, but not like his, recoverable. I fear 'tis deepest winter in Lord Timon's purse, that is one may reach deep enough and yet find little. I'll show you how to observe a strange event. Your lord sends now for money, and he wears jewels now of Timon's gift, for which I wait for money. Mark, how strange it shows, Timon in this should pay more than he owes, and e'en as if your lord should wear rich jewels and send for money from. I'm weary of this charge, the gods can witness. I know my lord hath spent of Timon's wealth, and now ingratitude makes it worse than stealth. 'Tis much deep, and it should seem by the sum, your master's confidence was above mine, else surely his had equalled. Ha, is not that his steward muffled so? He goes away in a cloud, call him. Aye, if money were as certain as your waiting, 'twere sure enough. Why then preferred you not your sums and bills, when your false masters eat of my lord's meat? Then they could smile and fawn upon his debts and take down the interest into their gluttonous maws. You do yourselves but wrong to stir me up. Let me pass quietly. Believe it, my lord and I have made an end. I have no more to reckon. He to spend. If 'twill not serve, 'tis not so base as you, for you serve knaves. Exit. Many do keep their chambers are not sick, and if it be so far beyond his health, methinks he should the sooner pay his debts and make a clear way to the gods. What, are my daws opposed against my passage? Have I been ever free, and must my house be my retentive enemy, my jail? The place which I have feasted, does it now, like all mankind, show me an iron hot? 5,000 drops pays that. What yaws? And yaws? They have e'en put my breath from me, the slaves. Creditors, devils, so fitly? Go, bid all my friends again, Lucius, Lucullus, and Sempronius. All, sirrah, all. I'll once more feast the rascals. Oh, my lord, you only speak from your distracted soul. There is not so much left to furnish out a moderate table. Bet not in thy care, go, I charge thee, invite them all. Let in the tide of knaves once more. My cook and I'll provide. Exeunt. Scene V the same. The Senate House. My lord, you have my voice to it, the fault's bloody. 'Tis necessary he should die. Nothing emboldens sin so much as mercy. I am an humble suitor to your virtues, for pity is the virtue of the law, and none but tyrants use it cruelly. It pleases time and fortune to lie heavy upon a friend of mine, who in hot blood hath stepped into the law, which is past depth to those that, without heed, do plunge and tot. He is a man, setting his fate aside, of comely virtues, nor did he soil the fact with cowardice, an honor in him which buys out his fault, but with a noble fury and fair spirit, seeing his reputation touched to death, he did oppose his foe, and with such sober and unnoted passion he did behave his anger, ere 'twas spent, as if he had but proved an argument. You undergo too strict a paradox, striving to make an ugly deed look fair. Your words have took such pains as if they labored to bring manslaughter into form and set quarreling upon the head of valor, which indeed is valor misbegot, and came into the world when sects and factions were newly born. He's truly valiant that can wisely suffer the worst that man can breathe, and make his wrongs his outsides, to wear them like his raiment, carelessly, and ne'er prefer his injuries to his hot. to bring it into danger. If wrongs be evils and in fauces kill, what folly 'tis to hazard life for ill? You cannot make gross sins look clear, to revenge is no valor, but to bear. My lords then, under favour, pardon me if I speak like a captain. Why do fond men expose themselves to battle, and not endure all threats? Sleep upon't, and let the foes quietly cut their throats without repugnancy? If there be such valour in the bearing, what make we abroad? Why then, women are more valiant that stay at home, if bearing carry it, and the ass more captain than the lion, the felon loaden with irons wiser than the judge, if wisdom be in suffering. O my lords, as you are great, be pitifully good, who cannot condemn rashness in cold blood. To kill, I grant, is sin's extremest gust, but in defence by mercy, 'tis most just. To be in anger is impiety, but who is man that is not angry? Weigh but the crime with this. In vain, his service done at Lacedaemon and Byzantium were a sufficient bribe for his life. I say, my lords, he has done fair service, and slain in fight many of your enemies. How full of valour did he bear himself in the lost conflict, and made plenteous wounds? He has made too much plenty with them. He's a swan rioter. He has a sin that often drowns him, and takes his valour prisoner. If there were no foes that were enough to overcome him, in that beastly fury he has been known to commit outrages and cherish factions. 'Tisn't fair to us, his days are foul and his drink dangerous. Hard fate? He might have died in war. My lords, if not for any parts in him, though his right arm might purchase his own time and be in debt to none, yet more to move you, take my deserts to his, and join 'em both. And, for I know your reverend ages love security, I'll pawn my victories, all my honours to you, upon his good returns. If by this crime he owes the law his life, why, let the war receive it in valiant gaw, for law is strict and war is nothing more. We are for law, he dies, urge it no more, on height of our displeasure. Friend or brother, he forfeits his own blood that spills another. Must it be so? It must not be. My lords, I do beseech you know me. I cannot think but your age has forgot me. It could not else be, I should prove so base. To sue, and be denied such common grace, my wounds ache at you. Do you dare our anger? 'Tis in few words, but spacious in effect, we banish thee for ever. Banish me? Banish your dotage, banish usury that makes the Senate ugly. If after 2 days' shine, Athens contain thee, attend our weightier judgment. And not to swell our spirit, he shall be executed presently. Exeunt senators. Now the gods keep you old enough, that you may live only in bone, that none may look on you. I'm worse than mad. I have kept back their foes, while they have told their money and let out their coin upon large interest, I myself rich only in large hurts. All those for this? Is this the balsam that the usuring senate pours into captains' wounds? Banishment? It comes not ill. I hate not to be banished. It is a cause worthy my spleen and fury, that I may strike at Athens. I'll cheer up my discontented troops and lay for hots. 'Tis honour with most lands to be at odds. Soldiers should brook as little wrongs as gods. Exit. Scene VI the same. A banqueting room in Timon's house. Each man to his stool, with that spur as he would to the lip of his mistress. Your diet shall be in all places alike. Make not a city feast of it, to let the meat cool ere we can agree upon the first place. Sit, sit. The gods require our thanks. You great benefactors, sprinkle our society with thankfulness. For your own gifts make yourselves praised, but reserve still to give, lest your deities be despised. Lend to each man enough that one need not lend to another. For were your godheads to borrow of men, men would forsake the gods. Make the meat be beloved more than the man that gives it. Let no assembly of 20 be without a score of villains. If there sit 12 women at the table, let a dozen of them be, as they are. The rest of your fees, O gods, the senators of Athens, together with the common lag of people. What is amiss in them, you gods, make suitable for destruction. For these my present friends, as they are to me nothing, so in nothing bless them, and to nothing are they welcome. Uncover, dogs, and lap. The dishes are uncovered and seen to be full of warm water. May you a better feast never behold, you not of mouth friends. Smoke and lukewarm water is your perfection. This is Timon's last, who, stuck and spangled with your flatteries, washes it off, and sprinkles in your faces your reeking villainy, throwing the water in their faces. Live loathed and long, most smiling, smooth, detested parasites, courteous destroyers, affable wolves, meek bears, you fools of fortune, trencher friends, time's flies, cap and knee slaves, vapors and minute jacks, of man and beast the infinite malady crust you quite awe. What dost thou go? Soft, take thy physic first, thou too, and thou, stay, I will lend thee money, borrow none, throws the dishes at them and drives them out. What all in motion? Henceforth be no feast, whereat a villain's not a welcome guest. Burn, house, sink, Athens, henceforth hated be of Timon man and all humanity, exit. Act Roman fa seen I without the walls of Athens. Let me look back upon thee. O thou wall, that girdlest in those wolves, dive in the earth and fence not Athens. Matrons turn incontinent, obedience fail in children, slaves and fools pluck the grave wrinkled senate from the bench and minister in their steads. To general filths convert the instant, green virginity, dot in your parents' eyes. Bankrupts hold fast, rather than render back, out with your knives, and cut your trusters' throats. Bound servants steal. Lodge-handed robbers your grave masters are, and pill by law. Maid to thy master's bed, thy mistress is the brothel. Son of 16, pluck the lined crutch from thy old limping sire, with it beat out his brains. Piety and fear, religion to the gods, peace, justice, truth, domestic awe, nitrest and neighborhood, instruction, manners, mysteries and trades, degrees, observances, customs and laws. Decline to your confounding contraries, and let confusion live. Plagues, incident to men, your potent and infectious fevers heap on Athens, ripe for stroke. Thou cold sciatica, cripple our senators, that their limbs may halt as lamely as their manners. Lust and liberty creep in the minds and marrows of our youth, that gainst the stream of virtue they may strive, and drown themselves in riot. Itches, blains, so all the Athenian bosoms, and their crop be general leprosy. Breath infect breath, that their society, as their friendship, may be merely poison. Nothing I'll bear from thee but nakedness, thou detestable town. Take thou that too, with multiplying bands. Timon will to the woods, where he shall find the unkindest beast more kinder than mankind. The gods confound, hear me, you good gods all, the Athenians both within and out that wall, and grant, as Timon grows, his hate may grow to the whole race of mankind, high and low. Amen. Exit. Scene room into Athens, a room in Timon's house. Here you master steward, where's our master? Are we undone, cast off, nothing remaining? Alack, my fellows, what should I say to you? Let me be recorded by the righteous gods, I am as poor as you. Such a house broke, so noble a master fallen, all gone, and not one friend to take his fortune by the arm and go along with him. As we do turn our backs from our companion thrown into his grave, so his familiars to his buried fortunes slink all away, leave their false vows with him, like empty purses picked, and his poor self, a dedicated beggar to the air, with his disease of all shunned poverty, walks like contempt alone. More of our fellows. Yet do our hearts wear Timon's livery, that see I by our faces, we are fellows still, serving alike in sorrow. Leaked is our bark, and we, poor mates, stand on the dying deck, hearing the surge's threat, we must all part into this sea of air. Good fellows all, the latest of my wealth I'll share amongst you. Wherever we shall meet, for Timon's sake, let's yet be fellows, let's shake our heads and say, as twere a knell unto our master's fortunes, we have seen better days. Let each take some, nay, put out all your hands, not one word more, thus part we rich in sorrow, parting poor. Servants embrace and part several ways. Oh, the fierce wretchedness that glory brings us. Who would not wish to be from wealth exempt, since riches point to misery and contempt? Who would be so mocked with glory? Ought to live but in a dream of friendship. To have his pomp and all what state compounds, but only painted, like his varnished friends? Poor honest Laud, brought low by his own heart, undone by goodness? Strange, unusual blood, when man's worst sin is, he does too much good. Who, then, dares to be half so kind again? For bounty that makes gods does still ma men. My dearest Laud, blessed to be most accursed, rich, only to be wretched, thy great fortunes are made thy chief afflictions. Alas, kind Laud, he's flung in rage from this ingrateful seat of monstrous friends, nor has he with him to supply his life, or that which can command it. I'll follow and inquire him out. I'll ever serve his mind with my best will. Whilst I have gold, I'll be his steward still. Exit. Scene Roman 3 woods and cave near the seashore. O blessed breeding sun, draw from the earth rotten humidity, below thy sister's orb infect the air. Twinned brothers of one womb, whose procreation, residence, and birth scarce is dividend, touch them with several fortunes. The greater scorns the lesser. Not nature, to whom all saws lay siege, can bear great fortune, but by contempt of nature. Raise me this beggar, and den it that laud. The senator shall bear contempt hereditary, the beggar native honor. It is the posture lauds the brother's sides, the want that makes him lean. Who dares, in purity of manhood stand upright, and say this man's a flatterer? If one be, so are they all, for every guise of fortune is smoothed by that below. The learned pate ducks to the golden fool. All is oblique. There's nothing level in our cursed natures but direct villainy. Therefore be abhorred all feasts, societies, and throngs of men, his semblable, yea, himself, Timon disdains, destruction fang mankind, earth, yield me roots, digging. Who seeks for better of thee, sauce his palate with thy most operant poison. What is here, gold? Yellow, glittering, precious gold? No, gods, I am no idle votarist, roots, you clear heavens. Thus much of this will make black white, foul fair, wrong right, base noble old young, coward valiant. Ha, you gods, why this? What this, you gods? Why, this will lug your priests and servants from your sides, pluck stout men's pillows from below their heads. This yellow slave will knit and break religions, bless the accursed, make the ha leprosy a dod, place thieves and give them title, knee and approbation with senators on the bench. This is it that makes the wapened widow wed again. She, whom the spittle house and ulcerous saws would cost the gorget, this embalms and spices to the April day again. Come, damned earth, thou common whore of mankind, that putst odds among the root of nations, I will make thee do thy right nature. March afar off. Ha, a drum? Thou it quick, but yet I'll bury thee. Thou'lt go, strong thief, when gouty keepers of thee cannot stand. Nay, stay thou out for earnest, keeping some gold. A beast as thou art. The canker gnaw thy heart, for showing me again the eyes of man. What is thy name? Is man so hateful to thee that art thyself a man? I am misanthropos, and hate mankind. For thy part, I do wish thou wert a dog, that I might love thee something. I know thee well, but in thy fortunes am unlearned and strange. I know thee too, and more than that I know thee, I not desire to know. Follow thy drum, with man's blood paint the ground, gules, religious canons, civil laws are cruel, then what should war be? This fell whore of thine hath in her more destruction than thy sod, for all her cherubin look. I will not kiss thee, then the rot returns to thine own lips again, as the moon does, by wanting light to give, but then renew I could not like the moon, there were no suns to borrow of. Noble Timon, what friendship may I do thee? None, but to maintain my opinion. Is this the Athenian minion, whom the world voiced so regardfully? Be a haw still, they love thee not that use thee, give them diseases, leaving with thee their lust. Make use of thy salt hours. Season the slaves for tubs and baths. Bring down rose-cheeked youth to the tub fast and the diet. Pardon him, sweet Timandra, for his wits are drowned and lost in his calamities. I have but little gold of late, brave Timon, the want whereof doth daily make revolt in my penurious band. I have heard, and grieved, how cursed Athens, mindless of thy worth, forgetting thy great deeds when Nabas states, but for thy sod and fortune, trod upon them. How dost thou pity him whom thou dost trouble? I had rather be alone. Why, fare thee well, here is some gold for thee. The gods confound them all in thy conquest, and the after, when thou hast conquered, that by killing of villains thou wast born to conquer my country. Put up thy gold, go on, here's gold, go on. Be as a planetary plague, when Jove will awe some high vice city hang his poison in the sick air. Let not thy sod skip one. Pity not honored age for his white beard. He is an usurer. Strike me the counterfeit matron. It is her habit only that is honest, herself's a bawd. Let not the virgin's cheek make soft thy trenchant sod. For those milk paps that through the window bars bore at men's eyes are not within the leaf of pity writ, but set them down horrible traitors. Spare not the babe, whose dimpled smiles from fools exhaust their mercy. Think it a bastard, whom the oracle hath doubtfully pronounced thy throat shall cut, and mince it sans remorse. Swear against objects, put armor on thine ears and on thine eyes, whose proof, nor yells of mothers, maids, nor babes, nor sight of priests in holy vestments bleeding, shall pierce a jot. There's gold to pay soldiers, make large confusion, and thy fury spent, confounded be thyself. Speak not, be gone. Hast thou gold yet? I'll take the gold thou givest me, not all thy counsel. Enough to make a haw forswear her trade, and to make haws a bawd. Hold up, you sluts, your aprons mountant. You are not oathable, although, I know, you'll swear, terribly swear into strong shudders and to heavenly agues the immortal gods that hear you. Spare your oaths, I'll trust to your conditions. Be haws still, and he whose pious breath seeks to convert you, be strong in haw, allure him, burn him up. Let your close fire predominate his smoke, and be no turncoats. Yet may your pains, 6 months, be quite contrary, and thatch your poor thin roofs with burthens of the dead. Some that were hanged, no matter, wear them, betray with them. Haw still, paint till a hoss may mire upon your face a pox of wrinkles. Well, ma gold, what then? Believe it that we'll do anything for gold. Consumptions sow in hollow bones of man, strike their sharp shins and ma men's spurring. Crack the lawyer's voice that he may never ma false title plead, nor sound his quillets shrilly. Haw the flame, that scolds against the quality of flesh and not believes himself. Down with the nose, down with it flat. Take the bridge quite away of him that, his particular to fossee, smells from the general wheel. Make curled pate ruffians bald, and let the unscarred braggarts of the wa derive some pain from you. Plague all, that your activity may defeat and quell the sauce of all erection. There's more gold, do you damn others, and let this damn you, and ditches grave you all. Strike up the drum towards Athens. Farewell, Timon, if I thrive well, I'll visit thee again. Men daily find it. Get thee away, and take thy beagles with thee. That nature, being sick of man's unkindness, should yet be hungry? Common mother thou, digging, whose womb unmeasurable and infinite breast teems and feeds all, whose self-same metal, whereof thy proud child, arrogant man, is puffed, engenders the black toad and adder blue, the gilded newt and eyeless venomed worm, with all the abhorred births below crisp heaven whereon Hyperion's quickening fire doth shine. Yield him, who all thy human sons doth hate, from forth thy plenteous bosom, one poor root. Insear thy fertile and conceptious womb, let it no more bring out ingrateful man. Go great with tigers, dragons, wolves, and bears, teem with new monsters, whom thy upward face hath to the marbled mansion all above never presented. Oh, a root, dear thanks. Dry up thy marrows, vines, and plowton lees, whereof ungrateful man, with licorice draughts and mossels unctuous, greases his pure mind, that from it all consideration slips. I was directed hither. Men report thou dost affect my manners and dost use them. 'Tis then, because thou dost not keep a dog whom I would imitate, consumption catch thee? This is in thee a nature but infected, a poor unmanly melancholy sprung from change of fortune. Why this spade, this place, this slave-like habit, and these looks of care? Thy flatterers yet wear silk, drink wine, lie soft, hug their diseased perfumes, and have forgot that ever Timon was. Shame not these woods by putting on the cunning of a copper. Be thou a flatterer now, and seek to thrive by that which has undone thee. Hinge thy knee, and let his very breath, whom thou'lt observe, blow off thy cap. Praise his most vicious strain, and call it excellent. Thou wast told thus. Thou gavest thine ears like tapsters that bid welcome to knaves and all approaches. 'Tis most just that thou turn rascal. Hadst thou wealth again, rascals should haved. Do not assume my likeness. Thou hast cast away thyself, being like thyself, a madman so long, now a fool. What, think'st that the bleak air, thy boisterous chamberlain, will put thy shirt on warm? Will these mossed trees, that have outlived the eagle, page thy heels, and skip where thou point'st out? Will the cold brook, candied with ice, coddle thy morning taste, to cure thy all-night surfeit? Call the creatures whose naked natures live in and the spite of wreakful heaven, whose bare unhoused trunks, to the conflicting elements exposed, answer mere nature. Bid them flatter thee. Oh, thou shalt find always a villain's office or a fool's. Dost please thyself in't. If thou didst put this sour cold habit on to castigate thy pride, 'twere well. But thou dost it infaucidly. Thou'dst courtier be again, wert thou not beggar. Willing misery outlives in certain pomp is crowned before, the one is filling still, never complete the other at high wish. Best state, contentless, hath a distracted and most wretched being, worse than the worst, content. Thou shouldst desire to die, being miserable. Not by his breath that is more miserable. Thou art a slave, whom fortune's tender arm with favour never clasped, but bred a dog. Hadst thou, like us from our first swath, proceeded the sweet degrees that this brief world affords to such as may the passive drugs of it freely command, thou wouldst have plunged thyself in general riot, melted down thy youth in different beds of lust, and never learned the icy precepts of respect, but followed the sugared game before thee. But myself, who had the world as my confectionery, the mouths, the tongues, the eyes and hearts of men at duty, more than I could frame employment, that numberless upon me stuck as leaves do on the oak, hive with one winter's brush fell from their boughs and left me open, bare for every storm that blows. I to bear this that never knew but better, is some burden, thy nature did commence in sufferance, time hath made thee hard in't. Why shouldst thou hate men? They never flattered thee. What hast thou given? If thou wilt curse thy father, that poor rag must be thy subject, who in spite put stuff to some she-beggar and compounded thee poor rogue hereditary. Hence, be gone. If thou hadst not been born the worst of men, thou hadst been a knave and flatterer. I that I was no prodigal, I that I am one now, were all the wealth I have shut up in thee, I'll give thee leave to hang it. Get thee gone, that the whole life of Athens were in this, thus would I eat it. Eating a root, 'tis not well mended so, it is but botched, if not, I would it were. Thee thither in a whirlwind. If thou wilt, tell them there I have gold, look, so I have. The best and truest, for here it sleeps and does no hired harm, under that's above me. Where feedst thou, O days, Apemantus, if I name thee? I'll beat thee, but I should infect my hands. Away, thou issue of a mangy dog. Cola does kill me that thou art alive, I swound to see thee. Away, thou tedious rogue, I am sorry I shall lose a stone by thee. Throws a stone at him. Rogue, 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 I am sick of this false world, and will love not but even the mere necessities upont. Then, Timon, presently prepare thy grave. Lie where the light foam the sea may beat thy gravestone daily. Make thine epitaph, that death in me at others' lives may laugh. To the gold. O thou sweet king-killer, and dear divorce twixt natural son and sire, thou bright defiler of Hymen's purest bed, thou valiant Mars, thou ever young, fresh, loved, and delicate wooer, whose blush doth thaw the consecrated snow that lies on Dian's lap, thou visible god, that soldest close impossibilities and makest them kiss, that speakst with every tongue to every purpose, O thou touch of hearts, think thy slave man rebels, and by thy virtue set them into confounding odds, that beasts may have the world and empire. Would twere so, but not till I am dead. I'll say thou'st gold, thou wilt be thronged to shortly. Long live so, and so die. Exit Apemantus. I am quit. Mo things like men. Eat Timon and abhor them. Your greatest want is, you want much of meat. Why should you want? Behold, the earth hath roots, within this mile break forth 100 springs, the oak's bare mast, the briar's scarlet hips, the bounteous housewife, nature, on each bush lays her full mess before you. Want? Why want? We cannot live on grass, on berries, water, as beasts and birds and fishes, nor on the beasts themselves, the birds and fishes. You must eat men. Yet thanks I must you con that you are thieves professed, that you work not in holiest shapes, for there is boundless theft in limited professions. Rascal thieves, here's gold. Go, suck the subtle blood o' the grape, till the high fever seethe your blood to froth, and so scape hanging. Trust not the physician, his antidotes are poison, and he slays mo than you rob. Take wealth and lives together. Do villainy, do, since you protest to dot like workmen. I'll example you with thievery. The sun's a thief, and with his great attraction rubs the vast sea. The moon's an errant thief, and her pale fire she snatches from the sun. The sea's a thief, whose liquid surge resolves the moon into salt tears. The earth's a thief that feeds and breeds by a composture stolen from general excrement. Each thing's a thief. The laws, your curb and whip, in their rough power have unchecked theft. Love not yourselves, away, rob one another. There's more gold. Cut throats, all that you meet are thieves. To Athens go, break open shops, nothing can you steal, but thieves do lose it. Steal no less for this I give you, and gold confound you houseower. Amen. O you gods, is yon despised and ruinous man my lord, full of decay and failing? O monument and wonder of good deeds evilly bestowed. What an alteration of honor has desperate want made? What viler thing upon the earth than friends who can bring noblest minds to basest ends? How rarely does it meet with this time's guise, when man was wished to love his enemies? Grant I may ever love, and rather woo those that would mischief me than those that do. Has caught me in his eye, I will present my honest grief unto him, and as my lord, still serve him with my life. My dearest master, why dost ask that? I have forgot all men. Then, if thou grant'st thou art a man, I have forgot thee, then I know thee not. I never had honest man about me, all I kept were knaves, to serve and meat to villains. The gods are witness, ne'er did poor steward wear a truer grief for his undone lord than mine eyes for you. What, dost thou weep? Come nearer. Then I love thee, because thou art a woman, and disclaim'st flinty mankind, whose eyes do never give but thorough lust and laughter. Pity's sleeping, strange times that weep with laughing, not with weeping. I beg of you to know me, good my lord, to accept my grief, and whilst this poor wealth lasts to entertain me as your steward still. Had I a steward so true, so just, and now so comfortable? It almost turns my dangerous nature mild. Let me behold thy face. Surely this man was born of woman. Forgive my general and acceptless rashness, you perpetual sober gods. I do proclaim one honest man, mistake me not, but one, no more, I pray. And he's a steward. How fain would I have hated all mankind, and thou redeem'st thyself. But all save thee I fell with curses. Methinks thou art more honest now than wise, for by oppressing and betraying me, thou mightst have sooner got another service, for many so arrive at second masters upon their first lord's neck. But tell me true, for I must ever doubt, though ne'er so sure, is not thy kindness subtle, covetous, if not a usuring kindness, and, as rich men deal gifts, expecting in return 20 for 1? No, my most worthy master, in whose breast doubt and suspect, alas, are placed too late, you should have feared false times when you did feast. Suspect still comes where an estate is least. That which I show, heaven knows, is merely love, duty and zeal to your unmatched mind, care of your food and living. And believe it, my most honoured lord, for any benefit that points to me, either in hope or present, I'ld exchange for this one wish, that you had power and wealth to requite me by making rich yourself. Look thee, 'tis so. Thou singly honest man, here take, the gods out of my misery have sent thee treasure. Go, live rich and happy, but thus conditioned. Thou shalt build for men, hate all, curse all, show charity to none, but let the famished flesh slide from the bone, ere thou relieve the beggar. Give to dogs what thou dennest to men. Let prisons swallow 'em, debts wither 'em to nothing. Be men like blasted woods, and may diseases lick up their false bloods. And so farewell and thrive. Oh, let me stay, and comfort you, my master. If thou hatest curses, stay not, fly, whilst thou art blessed and free, ne'er see thou man, and let me ne'er see thee. Exit Flavius. Timon retires to his cave. Act V. Scene I the woods, before Timon's cave. Nay, let's seek him. Then do we sin against our own estate, when we may profit meet and come too late. True, when the day serves, before black-cornered night, find what thou want'st by free and offered light. Come, aside, I'll meet you at the turn. What a god's gold, that he is worshipped in a Baeza temple than where swine feed? 'Tis thou that rigg'st the bark and ploughst the foam, settlest admired reverence in a slave, to thee be worship? And thy saints for I be crowned with plagues that thee alone obey? Fit I meet them. Coming forward. Sir, having often of your open bounty tasted, hearing you were retired, your friends fall'n off, whose thankless natures, O abhorred spirits? Not all the whips of heaven are large enough. What, to you, whose star-like nobleness gave life and influence to their whole being, I am rapt and cannot cover the monstrous bulk of this ingratitude with any size of words. Let it go naked, men may seet the better, you that are honest, by being what you are, make them best seen and known. He and myself have travailed in the great shower of your gifts and sweetly felt it. Most honest men, why, how shall I requite you? Can you eat roots and drink cold water? No, ye are honest men, ye have heard that I have gold, I am sure you have, speak truth. Ye are honest men, so it is said, my noble lord, but therefore came not my friend nor I. Good honest men, thou drawst a counterfeit best in all Athens, thou it, indeed, the best, thou counterfeit'st most lively. And so, sir, as I say. And for thy fiction, why, thy verse swells with stuff so fine and smooth that thou art even natural in thine art. But for all this, my honest-natured friends, I must needs say you have a little fault, Mary. 'Tis not monstrous in you, neither wish I you take much pains to mend. Beseech your honour to make it known to us. There's never a one of you but trusts a knave that mightily deceives you. Ay, and you hear him cog, see him dissemble, know his gross patchery, love him, feed him, keep in your bosom. Yet remain assured that he's a made-up villain. Look you, I love you well, I'll give you gold, rid me these villains from your companies, hang them or stab them, drown them in a draught, confound them by some cost and come to me, I'll give you gold enough. You that way and you this, but two in company, each man apart, all single and alone, yet an arch-villain keeps him company. If where thou art two villains shall not be, come not near him. If thou wouldst not reside but where one villain is, then him abandon. Hence, pack, there's gold, you came for gold, ye slaves, to painter. You have worked for me, there's payment for you, hence, to poet. You are an alchemist, make gold of that. Out, rascal dogs, beats them out and then retires to his cave. It is in vain that you would speak with Timon, for he is set so only to himself that nothing but himself which looks like man is friendly with him. Bring us to his cave, it is our part and promise to the Athenians to speak with Timon. At all times alike men are not still the same, 'twas time and griefs that framed him thus. Time, with his fairer hand, offering the fortunes of his former days, the former man may make him. Bring us to him and chance it as it may. Here is his cave. Peace and content be here, Lord Timon. Timon, look out and speak to friends. The Athenians, by two of their most reverend senate, greet thee, speak to them, noble Timon. Thou sun that comfort'st, burn, speak, and be hanged for each true word a blister, and each false be as cauterizing to the root o' the tongue, consuming it with speaking. I thank them, and would send them back the plague, could I but catch it for them. Oh, forget what we are sorry for ourselves in thee. The senators with one consent of love entreat thee back to Athens, who have thought on special dignities, which vacant lie for thy best use and wearing. They confess toward thee forgetfulness too general, gross, which now the public body, which doth seldom play the recanter, feeling in itself a lack of Timon's aid, hath sense withal of its own fail, restraining aid to Timon, and send forth us, to make their sorrowed render, together with a recompense more fruitful than their offence can weigh down by the dram. Ay, even such heaps and sums of love and wealth, as shall to thee blot out what wrongs were theirs and write in thee the figures of their love, ever to read them thine. You witch me in it, surprise me to the very brink of tears, lend me a fool's heart and a woman's eyes, and I'll beweep these comforts, worthy senators. Therefore, so please thee to return with us and of our Athens, thine and ours, to take the captainship, thou shalt be met with thanks, allowed with absolute power, and thy good name live with authority. So soon we shall drive back of Alcibiades the approaches wild, who, like a boar too savage, doth root up his country's peace, and shakes his threatening sod against the walls of Athens. Well, sir, I will, sir, thus, if Alcibiades kill my countrymen, let Alcibiades know this of Timon, that Timon cares not. But if be sack fair Athens, and take our goodly aged men by the beards, giving our holy virgins to the stain of contumelious, beastly, mad-brained wa, then let him know, and tell him Timon speaks it, in pity of our aged and our youth. I cannot choose but tell him that I care not, and let him take't at worst. For their knives care not, while you have throats to answer. For myself, there's not a whittle in the unruly camp, but I do prize it at my love before the reverenced throat in Athens. So I leave you to the protection of the prosperous gods, as thieves to keepers. Why, I was writing of my epitaph. It will be seen tomorrow. My long sickness of health and living now begins to mend, and nothing brings me all things. Go, live still, be Alcibiades your plague, you his, and lost so long enough. But yet I love my country, and am not one that rejoices in the common wreck, as common brute doth put it, and enter in our ears like great triumphers in their applauding gates. Commend me to them, and tell them that, to ease them of their griefs, their fears of hostile strokes, their aches, losses, their pangs of love, with other incident throes that nature's fragile vessel doth sustain in life's uncertain voyage, I will some kindness do them. I'll teach them to prevent wild Alcibiades' wrath. I have a tree, which grows here in my close, that mine own use invites me to cut down, and shortly must I fell it. Tell my friends, tell Athens, in the sequence of degree from high to low throughout, that whoso please to stop affliction, let him take his haste, come hither, ere my tree hath felt the axe and hang himself. I pray you, do my greeting. Come not to me again, but say to Athens, Timon hath made his everlasting mansion upon the beached verge of the salt flood, who once a day with his embossed froth the turbulent surge shall cover. Thither come, and let my gravestone be your oracle. Lips, let sour words go by and language end. What is amiss plague and infection mend? Graves only be men's works and death their gain. Sun, hide thy beams. Timon hath done his reign, retires to his cave. His discontents are unremovably coupled to nature. Our hope in him is dead. Let us return, and strain what other means is left unto us in our dear peril. Scene Roman 2 before the walls of Athens. Thou hast painfully discovered, are his files as full as thy report? I have spoke the least, besides, his expedition promises present approach. I met a courier, one mine ancient friend, whom, though in general part we were opposed, yet our old love made a particular fuss, and made us speak like friends. This man was riding from Alcibiades to Timon's cave, with letters of entreaty, which imparted his fellowship I the cause against your city, in part for his sake moved. No talk of Timon, nothing of him expect. The enemy's drum is heard, and fearful scouring doth choke the air with dust. In and prepare, ours is the fall I fear, our foes the snare. Exeunt. Scene Roman 3 the woods. Timon's cave and a rude tomb scene. By all description this should be the place. Who's here? Speak, ho, no answer. What is this? Timon is dead. Who hath outstretched his span? Some beast reared this. There does not live a man. Dead, sure, and this his grave. What's on this tomb I cannot read. The character I'll take with wax our captain hath in every figure skill, an aged interpreter, though young in days. Before proud Athens he's set down by this, whose fall the mock of his ambition is. Exit. Scene Roman 4 before the walls of Athens. Sound to this coward and lascivious town our terrible approach. A parley sounded, till now you have gone on and filled the time with all licentious measure, making your wills the scope of justice. Till now myself, and such as slept within the shadow of your power, have wondered with our traversed arms and breathed our sufferance vainly. Now the time is flush, when crouching marrow in the bearer strong cries of itself. No more. Now breathless wrong shall sit and pant in your great chairs of ease, and pursy insolence shall break his wind with fear and horrid flight. Noble and young, when thy first griefs were but a mere conceit, ere thou hadst power, all we had cause of fear, we sent to thee, to give thy rages balm, to wipe out our ingratitude with loves above their quantity. So did we woo transform Timon to our city's love by humble message, and by promised means. We were not all unkind, nor all deserve the common stroke of war. These walls of ours were not erected by their hands from whom you have received your griefs, nor are they such that these great towers, trophies and schools should fall for private faults in them. Nor are they living who were the motives that you first went out. Shame that they wanted cunning, in excess hath broke their hearts. March, noble laud, into our city with thy banners spread, by decimation, and a tithe death, if thy revenges hunger for that food which nature loathes, take thou the destined tenth, and by the hazard of the spotted die, let die the spotted. All have not offended. For those that were, it is not square to take on those that are, revenges. Crimes, like lands, are not inherited. Then, dear countryman, bring in thy ranks, but leave without thy rage, spare thy Athenian cradle and those kin which in the bluster of thy wrath must fall with those that have offended. Like a shepherd, approach the fold and cull the infected foth, but kill not altogether. What thou wilt, thou rather shalt enforce it with thy smile than hew taut with thy sod. Set but thy foot against our rampired gates, and they shall ope. So thou wilt send thy gentle heart before, to say thou'lt enter friendly. Throw thy glove, or any token of thine honour else, that thou wilt use the wars as thy redress and not as our confusion, all thy powers shall make their harbour in our town, till we have sealed thy full desire. Then there's my glove, descend, and open your uncharged pots. Those enemies of Timon's and mine own whom you yourselves shall set out for reproof fall and no more. And, to atone your fears with my more noble meaning, not a man shall pass his quota, or offend the stream of regular justice in your city's bounds, but shall be rendered to your public laws at heaviest answer. My noble general, Timon, is dead, entombed upon the very hem of the sea, and on his gravestone this in sculpture, which with wax I brought away, whose soft impression interprets for my poor ignorance, reads the epitaph. Here lies a wretched cause of wretched soul bereft, seek not my name, a plague consume you wicked caitiffs left? Here lie I, Timon, who alive, all living men did hate, pass by and curse thy fill, but pass and stay not here thy gate. These well express in thee thy latter spirits, though thou abhorredst in us our human griefs, sconst our brains flow, and those our droplets which from niggard nature fall, yet rich conceit taught thee to make vast Neptune weep for aye on thy low grave, on faults forgiven. Dead is noble Timon, of whose memory hereafter more. Bring me into your city, and I will use the olive with my sod, make war breed peace, make peace stint war, make each prescribe to other as each other's leech. Let our drums strike. Exeunt. Colophon Timon of Athens was published in 1607 by William Shakespeare. This ebook was produced for Standard eBooks by Emma Sweeney, and is based on a transcription produced in 1993 by Jeremy Hilton for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. The cover page is adapted from the Parthenon, a painting completed in 1871 by Frederick Edwin Church. The cover and title pages feature the League Spartan and Sots Mill Gaudy typefaces created in 2014 and 2009 by the League of Movable Type. This edition was released on August 18, 2025, 9:13 p.m. and is based on revision 7F8 DDD4. The first edition of this ebook was released on February 28, 2022, 8:36 p.m. You can check for updates to this ebook, view its revision history, or download it for different e-reading systems at standardbooksorg/ebooks/William Shakespeare/Timon of Athens. The volunteer-driven Standard eBooks project relies on readers like you to submit typos, corrections, and other improvements. Anyone can contribute at Standard Booksorg. Dramatis Personae Timon, of Athens Lucius, flattering Laud Lucullus, flattering Laud Sempronius, flattering Laud Ventidius, one of Timon's false friends Alcibiades, an Athenian captain Epamantis, a churlish philosopher Flavius, steward to Timon poet, painter, jeweler, and merchant and old Athenian Flaminius, servant of Timon Lucilius, servant of Timon Servilius, servant of Timon Caphis, servant to Timon's creditors Philotus, servant to Timon's creditors Titus, servant to Timon's creditors Lucius, creditors Hortensius, servant to Timon's creditors and other servants to Timon's creditors, a page of fool 3 strangers Phrynia, mistress to Alcibiades Timandra, mistress to Alcibiades Cupid and Amazons in the mosque other lauds, senators, officers, soldiers, banditti, and attendants seen. Athens and the neighboring woods. Timon of Athens, imprint this ebook, is the product of many hours of hard work by volunteers for Standard ebooks, and builds on the hard work of other literature lovers made possible by the public domain. This particular ebook is based on a transcription from Massachusetts Institute of Technology and on digital scans from the Hathai Trust Digital Library. The source text and artwork in this ebook are believed to be in the United States public domain. That is, they are believed to be free of copyright restrictions in the United States. They may still be copyrighted in other countries, so users located outside of the United States must check their local laws before using this ebook. The creators of and contributors to this ebook dedicate their contributions to the worldwide public domain via the terms in the CC 01.0 Universal Public Domain Dedication. For full license information, see the uncopyright at the end of this ebook. Standard eBooks is a volunteer-driven project that produces ebook editions of public domain literature using modern typography, technology, and editorial standards, and distributes them free of cost. You can download this and other ebooks carefully produced for true book lovers at standardbooks.org.